Loudestro.
Hey, thanks for vibing with
CeCe and
Chichi, where we talk about all the hot topics. So today, y'all already know we got a guest here. Everybody give him a shout out. Yes, we have Mr. Gray, you know what I'm saying? Straight out of college. He's a viewer. He's been chatting up on the comments. So I want you to just introduce yourself.
Gray from the southwest side of Houston as a guest of this hot show. Love y'all to pieces. I've been following up with y'all for the last few weeks. Caught up pretty quickly. And,
Yes.
so to be invited onto this was an honor and a pleasure and a privilege. And I can't wait to talk about what we got tonight.
Tonight, Vibe Squad. Yes, all the way from the H, you know what I'm saying? So we appreciate all the love and support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we're going to start off like we normally do. What is your favorite episode or what is your favorite
before
vibe?
we even get into that, let's talk about these drinks. What are y'all vibing on, y'all? What's the vibe first?
Yeah. Oh, we got the red cup. Yeah, straight out of college. What's up?
Shout out to TSU, Texas Southern University in the Third Ward area. We stay drinking. This
Yeah.
is Don Julio.
Mm.
Brown skin. Reposado.
Brown. Yeah.
Ooh, we love some reposado.
Yeah.
And I'm over here just vibing on some rum. I have a little rum in my little mule cup, keeping it cute. What you got, Chichi?
Some red wine with a little apple juice in there, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to get too lit, you know what I'm saying? So I need to put a little juice in there just to kind of sweeten it up, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, some cheers it up.
Once
All
again.
right, so let's get started. So
yeah, let's get in it.
What's your favorite vibe thus far from you, watching our show?
It's definitely for me episode 18. Episode 18 was y'all talked about a lot in a short amount of time about double standards. That was the topic, and I think it's fair that if we're talking about doubles, that means we're talking about two here, that we are clear and understanding of what the standards are on both sides.
Okay.
A lot of times those standards aren't all the way communicated through, aren't all the way stood firm on, which creates room for imbalance, miscommunication, no communication, etc. And it went into different subcategories from, double standards on the count of, body count, gender roles,
I remember that.
etc. I loved it, up and down. That was my personal favorite.
Okay. Do you think double standards exist?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's, really obvious, especially from the male side of the spectrum. Okay. I think that a lot of the standards that we have in the modern America are of old European standards.
There it is.
Preach it.
Okay, so if we are a diverse place in a diverse country with people of different ethnic backgrounds from everywhere from around the world, and we're still going off of practices and standards that are not of this time and not of this place, it creates a lot of instability. Folks going left and we're trying to go right, vice versa. And it's confusing, so I believe that it's time that while we have the technology that we have that makes it super convenient to communicate, if we're going out on dates, casual dates, let's communicate about what's important and what was important to our parents and they parents and they parents, so on.
So wait. I had a question because I had another question, but this statement you just said, what is important to their parents and their parents? So you're saying, you said one thing, you said we should adjust to current time and so that we can have that balance when it comes to double standards. But then you said that we should communicate and then know what's important to our parents and their parents. So that's kind of taking us back to the tradition that you said that we should not really be trying to follow because we're in the new current age. So could you clarify that part?
So, because your name is Chichi, you have an
Yes, it
accent.
is.
I'm from Houston, which is Africa, the sequel a little bit. Okay, we have a lot of different folks from Africa who are first and second generation Africans. Is that you?
That is me. I am born here in Texas, but my parents are from Nigeria.
Okay, those roots are very deep from where you are from, and it is new here.
Mm.
If we're talking about, especially in the Houston community where the population of Nigerian are high, if we're
Yes.
talking about dating outside of the Nigerian community with these very different kinds of people in Houston, because we are the most diverse city in the country,
Yep.
there's difficulty trying to align what our down to our roots, what
Sense
it is.
actually. And you actually speak about some we're gonna actually bring someone next week to speak more on that. But
Good.
that's very deep, very, very deep. And it's true. There is a lot of standards being Nigerian that we try, we try to uphold, but it doesn't happen. And you're speaking on a cliffhanger here because this is an issue, and this is the person that's going to come next week is going to speak about this issue. And is it right? Setting these standards on our children is causing this imbalance that you talked about. So, thanks for that. But let me give you one on that particular episode. I think we talked about. Ooh, I hear some sound. I think we talked about ladies proposing to men. Are you for it or not?
Ooh. Okay, so since we're talking about standards, ethnicities, I
Yes.
am of Native American descent. Okay,
Okay.
so even proposing isn't even a social norm that we have. Okay, it's rings and getting down on one knee. That's just not what we do. That's not how we express our love. That's not how we express our intent for the rest of our lives. Death do us part. It's just not it. If we're being current, women have earned the same rights and privileges as men in the United States of America. If she chooses to do what she wants and express her love and her intent for the rest of her life in the way that she wants to, that is her choice. And I support women's
Mm.
choices.
Oh man,
Well,
vote for Mr. Gray, y'all, for sure.
but
Yes.
the thing is, even with that, and although you do have an ethnicity that is Black and Native American and things of those natures, do you feel like if a woman that you were dating, say y'all dating for 6 months to 8 months, whatever, and she decides to propose, would you accept?
No,
So then there it is. Before we get all hype, yeah, you can propose. A woman can propose, but does that mean the man's going to accept?
no,
For
for
different
different
reasons?
reasons.
Probably not.
He may accept, he may not. If y'all think that Charlotte shot, what's so funny? Proposal videos and photographs, it's always with the lady. She can't
Yes.
believe it. If y'all put that on
Right.
us, imagine you got to be ready for whatever reaction because
Right.
Oh my goodness.
it could be the
Mm-hmm.
this ain't real. I'm going about my day because it's so out of the norm
Right.
Mm-hmm.
that a lot of
You
folks that
don't
have
know
a
what's
hard
going.
time taking it serious. So
And it
Yeah.
just
should
holler
stay
at me
the
later.
norm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm not
It can stay.
against it, but at the same time, I'm understanding that is a new thing that we're seeing. And a lot of folks have
Right.
not seen it with their own eyes. Just the even thought of it is so new and
Different.
different that a lot of folks just kind of say, you know what, there's about 100 different ways that I will go about something before I get to that point. which is
Right.
also fair.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a little absurd to me, but people are going to do what people do, and I think it should stay outside of the norm where it
Why?
is. For what? We talked about it before on our show. I feel like we would
Mhm.
be taking something away from men that actually want to take that step forward and profess their love, profess their commitment, and allow that woman to accept. I don't believe there's anything wrong with the man that still has that standpoint on wanting to play that role, play that part, and do the proposing. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Right. But then I guess it really does go with that double standard because I'm now hearing a male perspective. When you say it would take that away from the male, well, how do you know if that's what a male is that what they want? That's a double standard. That's what we think. So now hearing it, I'm really listening to him, and he said that it will be different, but it's not that it's out. It's just be different. So it's something that you have to adjust to. But from what you said and how I just heard Mr. Gray talk about it, it is that you're placing that double standard on what you think is the norm. So I guess everybody's norm is different. And now I have opened and kind of grew from this
Right.
conversation because I found
Mhm.
here a male perspective. So
And
I was with you on episode 18 about that. But now Mr. Gray got me thinking maybe I should propose.
girl, it goes back though. It goes back to what Grace said initially. The communication has to be
Right.
there. What is the standard that you want to set within this relationship? Because I think you'll know if that man is open to proposing or if he's open to you proposing before you even get to that point. If y'all are speaking on those terms of, hey, this suits me better or this doesn't suit me.
So if a man is asking you premarital questions about how you would want to be approached in a marriage situation that you've been seeing, from a woman's perspective, would your emotions start doing the dance? Would you not pay it much attention? Will you start getting to thinking that night about what's this dude thinking? What's his plan? Da 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 da. Because it might not call for all of that. So we're talking about dualities and being reciprocal with these double standards and trying to squash them.
Right.
Just as you would be doing that, you could be playing with some emotions as far as a man is concerned. Consider a man's
Mm.
emotions here.
Hmm.
Okay.
Playing with emotions, how so? Are you saying if they were having the conversation, if me and him were having a conversation and he alludes to
That
the
you
fact that he would,
initiated. You're initiating the conversation of standards as far as being proposed to and how you
mm-hmm,
would go about that or what your standards are.
Hmm.
That kind of question, as if it were being asked to you on the other side, could throw some folks emotionally or even mentally off balance because now they're thinking. Like for example,
Hmm.
now it might be in this man's mind, okay, she's not really having that much time to kind of be casual, have some fun, be loose because her mind is already on potential,
oh, I see what
potential
you're
being a
saying.
fiance, wife, motherhood. You're going there, as
Mm.
far as you like. So that puts a guy on a clock.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying I would bring up the conversation. I'm just saying, based on conversations that need to be
Mm-hmm.
had, usually, if you're in a deep, committed relationship, sometimes those conversations come up just organically, not
Mm.
by the woman, but usually by the man, or vice versa. I mean, there's women that put pressure on men like that. I'm not going to disregard and say women don't put pressure on men because we do.
Oh.
But at the same time, I'm more so referring to just a conversation like, hey, babe, we've been together, we've been doing this. What does our future look like? When those conversations
Yeah.
starts happening, which they
Yeah.
have, it's kind of like, well, what type of ring do you like to wear? So, the wheels are going to be spinning
Asking that
regardless.
question, that means
But
it's time. When they say what
yeah,
size is your well, first of all, I don't know why they're gonna ask me what size my ring. Well, I mean they can. I guess I can go find out. But when they start asking those questions, that's what my husband did. He started asking me
yeah,
like what size your finger is. I'm like, I don't know.
you gotta go
But
check.
yeah, I gotta go check, right? But I guess the question is, and this is just more thinking, when is it okay to start having those conversations when it's not classified as pressure? Like when is it like
Mm.
okay, is it year one? Is it year two? Is it 6 months in this serious relationship where we can now have these conversations and not mess up what Greg said with that loose and have a good time and just that free spirit? When is a good time to have that conversation when you're not considered as pressure? It's like a crucial
Hmm.
conversation. Which
Mm-hmm.
I what would you say? When like you with somebody serious? What would you say, Greg?
I try not to fix what isn't broken. I
Okay.
like to be practical that if something is right, something is right. If something is wrong, something is wrong. And if I'm even questioning it, yeah, I'll probably back off. But I have, I'm a simple person, simple guy,
Mm-hmm.
at least in my opinion. I don't have a whole bunch of boxes, but the few boxes that I have to be checked. And if
Okay.
all five boxes are being checked on a consistent basis, and I am
Mm-hmm.
convinced that I have a partner here with me that can be a partner for a
Mm-hmm.
long time, I'm gonna start asking those questions.
Okay.
And not to put a time on it, because it can take a day, it can take a week, it can take a month, it can take a year. We've seen bizarre instances in which it's
Right.
taken too long, in some of our opinions, for folks to get it right.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't take enough
Right.
time for folks to get it right, or whatever the measurement
Mm-hmm.
is. However, the proof is in the pudding. They've been together 5, 10,
Yeah,
20, 40, 50, 60 years.
that's right.
And when we say together, that could be debatable. But we won't get off into that because we got to jump into some more
Holla
topics.
at 'em.
Yes.
Y'all done started talking and we over here that missed out on other topics. I love it. This is
Me
good
thinking.
content.
Yeah.
So the last cliffhanger from our last show was about the silent treatment. Should you, yep, we want to talk about it.
I
Is
mean,
the silent treatment okay?
is it okay, Bob Squad? Is that okay? Is that something you should do in your relationship? Will that mess it up? Or do sometimes you need a little silent treatment to put that person in place? Let's talk about it. So, Greg, you're gonna go ahead and knock it off. What you think from a male perspective? Because you know me and Cece will let you know.
Mm-hmm.
A man talking too much about almost anything nowadays is considered sassy. So I've heard.
Mm.
Okay.
And to be honest, I kind of agree, because the masculine way about going things is, I'm going to tell you once, might tell you twice, and then it's action.
Hmm.
I'm action based. The
Okay.
talking is all extra. It's about action that matters to me. So, to answer,
So,
go ahead.
so if you have a
Uh huh.
spouse, you're married, or you have a
Mm-hmm.
girlfriend, say y'all live together or y'all don't live together, and you guys had a argument about someone stayed out all night, and and this requires conversation. So instead, would you, talk about it, or because you're mad, would you go a week or two without speaking to her because you're mad? Is
No,
that
no,
okay, or
no, no, no,
person?
no, no. I wouldn't use a silent treatment out of emotion. I use a silent treatment
Okay.
out of principle.
Okay.
Going back to my ethnic roots, as a Native American, we believe in going out and touching some grass, especially when the
Mm.
world gets too noisy. Go out and we sit in some
Okay.
grass and we listen to the ancestors. We listen to
Mm.
God. We listen to the gods. We listen to what our parents taught us, and we remember and we recollect and we kind of figure some stuff out. Nature allows us to do that. So
Mm.
sometimes going out and get some silence is therapeutic, okay?
Okay.
And it brings about a new, refreshed perspective on life. We invite
Yes.
folks who could use the silent treatment to come out, sit, touch some grass with us, and bring your favorite drink
Mm.
if you wanna.
Okay. Yes.
Well, I'm not against the
It
silent
works.
treatment. I'm gonna go ahead and chime in. It does. I think there's a time and place for everything. There's a time to stay quiet and evaluate. Depending on if you're using it as a defense or to attack somebody, I mean, yeah, that might be considered passive aggressive. Let's just call it what it is. But
Okay.
sometimes some things just don't need to be said in those moments. I feel like just taking a step back, maybe it's been heated. Um, I do think whatever the issue is needs to be brought up, mentioned, stated, placed there. And then if there's some quietness in between that, there's some silence that come from that, then let the silence be. Maybe people need to process it. Maybe you need to think about it. But I'm not against the silent treatment temporarily and for certain
Hmm.
reasons.
I like the word that you use, passive aggressive, because to me that's
Hmm.
like a tactic.
Yeah,
Okay,
it
now if
is. People use silent treatment as a tactic.
if we're being tactical, I'm kind of on your side about it because that's slippery. And to me, I think it's also important that you know your audience because some folks can
Mm-hmm.
be talked through whatever it is to help
Hmm.
them navigate. Some people are better off with the point, and then we're moving on, and then you're gonna have to just keep going back to okay, where did the progress stop?
Mm-hmm.
You got to know who you're dealing with sometimes, and sometimes it's a balance because that you sit because like you said, there are some
Yeah.
silences where it's just deserved because we know better. Like what's really there to talk
Mm-hmm.
about, and that's the
Okay, that's
and to me that's where the
yeah.
silent treatment comes in handy is that like there's nothing to really talk about and me talking to you about the same thing over and over and over like we haven't been here before.
Hmm.
And he talking like my husband. What?
Sound like
You
what
really
I've been.
talking like my own husband? Because
He's
like
a
my husband,
man.
he's a man. You know what I'm saying? This is how my husband says things as well. Because he says sometimes he needs to have that time off. Like he would probably go drive if we're having like a heated argument and just to have that listen to music and have that quietness, whatever. But then I also believe in, have that time, touch your grass, talk to the gods, get it together. But this silent treatment cannot be prolonged because then
Right.
it becomes like you said, CC, passive aggressive, and there's no
Mhm.
way that if there's no communication, there's no
Hmm.
progress in life. So you have to talk about it. But I do agree that sometimes, like Gray said, sometimes you just keep talking, talking, talking. It's not going through. So you do need to just take a step, come back, and then better get a fresh eye, and I actually use that nowadays. Now I have used a silent treatment in the past, long time ago. The first 2-3 years of someone's marriage is hard. I tell people now that getting married and stuff
Yes,
like that, it's
folks want
hard.
it. Folks want it, and
It's
it's work.
it's work. But the key is, this is what I tell people every day, communication is the
Mhm.
key. Because that silent treatment didn't do nothing for me, but
Mhm.
hurts. You know what I'm saying? So definitely don't go prolonged. Keep that balance. But if you do need to take a tactic and go take a breather, that's
To
okay
me,
too.
Chi you come off as a communicator, an effective one. So I believe that you have plan A, B, C's, and D's about how you communicate.
Now,
Now, gotcha.
now. But I fall off sometimes
So
because
what do
I'm
y'all
human.
think? What do y'all think about people using the silent treatment to test other people? So what I mean by that is, say you're dating or even married or something like that, you're talking to somebody. It could be a new relationship that's being built. And you've been texting consistently, y'all talking every day, and then all of a sudden, silence.
Mm.
So say you're the woman, you sent the last message and you don't hear back from that guy. Or vice versa. You're the man, you don't hear back from her.
How
So we're
long?
waiting.
How long?
People are really sometimes in the back of their mind like, are they going to respond? Are they going to hit me back first? Is that a valid test to see if somebody's interested or not?
That comes across
What
to
y'all
me
think?
personally like a game.
I agree.
I mean,
Yeah.
thankfully we don't, pay for minutes on our phones to talk anymore. We don't pay per text message,
Mhm.
but you'll be playing with people's phone bill. You're playing with people's time. You're playing with
Mhm.
people's emotions.
Mhm.
To me, I kind of, if we're talking about tactics on what it takes to get to know a person and a judge a person or whatever, there are some that I respect and some I don't. But that's just me,
Mhm.
like to each their own. I don't think that it's necessarily harmful, but is it progressive?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
What do you think, Chi Chi?
Well, we're going to leave that. What do you think, Chi Chi? Because we're going to get into our last topic after this.
Well, I mean, in the begin, actually, me when I was dating, and I still date my husband. When we're text, I want that attention. So if we're like talking and some guy is trying to pursue me and we're talking, yeah, I'm gonna want that attention. So please don't keep me on red because
Mm-hmm.
I'm a go drift somewhere else because I need that attention.
Yeah.
So and I learned, I don't know who told me, but no man is too busy to
Mm-hmm.
talk to you because we're busy. I'm busy. And if I can communicate on a daily with my busy schedule, that means I
Hmm.
care. And if I don't communicate with my busy schedule, that means you're not my priority. So I need to know that I am your priority. That's why I can't be no side chick because I need to be that number one, period. Or we're not going to play games because you're not playing with me, period. I'm playing y'all.
Now you for real?
That's that apple juice. That's that apple juice, y'all.
Nice.
Period. You know what I'm
Great
saying?
conversations. I love this. I love it.
But sometimes people do get busy because sometimes like my friend would text me again and then I would text them back and I'll still like, oh, they had a text message in there that I never responded to, or
Yeah.
it's still my message is still there that I never
They
sent.
happen.
I get that too, but when it comes to a man, nah, you're gonna have to give me that attention. I'm sorry, Gray. That's how I used to be back in the days.
Gotcha. Dating in the
Yeah.
20s is
Yes. Different.
Hmm. I think so.
Okay. I want to know. I want to know if we can wait. This is one of our episodes too. How is the dating now? Because you a single guy, I
I
think.
am.
Okay. So, and are you in your 20s?
I got a little bit left. Yeah.
Little bit left. So, just like not to take too much away. I know Cece got a good topic waiting for us. How is it dating? Is it cool
Uh,
or well after COVID? You know, with all the technology and all that stuff. Like, how is it? Because I would
it's
like to know.
bad. It's really crazy out here. Folks have some real internal stuff going on in their life. I'm
Okay.
starting to notice that, and this is just in my circle, and this is the way I see things, that the
Mm,
single people that are in my circle that I know, they seem to be the folks that are like more well-rounded, have it together, they're balanced, they're getting to know themselves, they're fully developed people versus the ones I know that are in relationship, maybe are married, newlyweds or whatever. They as individuals, if you're paying attention, like you kind of really could use a partner because by yourself you ain't doing too good,
mm,
you know. So a lot of times I see folks kind of using each other almost as crutches to build themselves
okay.
up, which I don't think is healthy all the time, even though that is what love allows.
Mm.
But as a single person and as a single man in my 20s, I just don't feel the need to participate in that yet.
Okay.
Interesting. I wouldn't expect him for that to go in that direction. Your response, better yet, to go in that direction.
But it's
It's,
good.
Ooh, there's so many other topics, y'all. I'm just like spiraling with
you
topics.
got one
No,
more
he got
for
to
us, right?
think.
I have
Yes.
one more for y'all.
Highlights.
So, and it kind of segues based on what you were talking about. Do you feel like the women with low standards makes it harder for women with higher standards when it comes to dealing with men and getting what you want?
Mm.
So, do you think that women with lower standards, because men may not have to do as much, make it harder for when those same men come across women with a higher standard and they have to do more?
That's a good one.
Women's standards are so diverse now that all I can really do as a man is look at the consistencies of what those
Mm.
are.
Mm,
And to be a safe dater, I kind of becoming open with this is, and I'm just getting to, a little bit personal. At this point in juncture, because there's a lot going on in the world. Okay, there's a lot going on, there's a lot
Right.
happening fast. I really don't have a bunch of time and money for a woman's wants right now, but her
Want.
needs.
mm,
Ooh. Okay. Mm.
Now we're
So
talking
what would you consider?
because I have a good idea how long it's gonna take before that washing machine busts, that dryer, that car needs fixing, and it's gonna cost you a couple of G's. When that
Yes.
roof needs a little bit fixing now, bed versus later. Those type of things, when if Shorty has consistent needs that are reasonable, she has done her part. She has worked. She has managed. She has this and she's that. Call me. I'm on the way. But as far as the wants
Hmm.
and stuff go, it's just too all over the place right now for me to be going in this
Hmm.
direction about what she wants this minute, what she wants next week, what
Hmm.
she wants next month, what she wants next year. Yeah.
Mhm. So, but are you still? I get you gonna. So you're a provider. You know what I'm saying, and that's great. So you definitely are marriage material. Bob Squad, great is marriage material. If you're looking for him, go in the comments. He's there. Okay,
They're gonna be
reply to
coming for you,
him. He's there.
Gray. They're gonna be
So
coming.
yeah. So you definitely married material, but I do want to make sure you say you're not really worried about the wants. Um, so like if
If
they
they're
want to
not
go out to
consistent,
go eat.
if they're not consistent, okay, if she has consistent want,
Okay.
which a lot of women, I'm just being honest
Okay.
with you, their wants are inconsistent. Okay.
Okay.
You want this, and then I guess your time frame, I guess you just start thinking that we're just supposed to go up and up and up with the wants and the needs and the this and that. Like if we're going out to eat, and let's take what you were saying, going out to eat, going on this date or whatever.
Yes.
If your wants are to go out every other night, every
Hmm.
weekend, however, in my opinion, well, and the way the economy is now is that's too many dates. That's
Right.
unproductive. It is. Okay,
Okay.
I'm a man who is about
Yes.
production. So if I'm stopping production,
That's
and if you're a working woman, you're stopping production to go have fun all the time, that's not going to be good for the
right.
people who
Okay.
need. So, like, I'm with the wants, but let's be
I see.
reasonable here. It's all about being a reason. And if she has reasonable
Yep.
wants, I can attend to those. But stuff like that about the bag and the shoes and the
Yeah. She feel like give me the bag. You see, like give me the bag.
like that's a lot going on for 6 months and less, because you can be gone tomorrow
Hmm.
with that bag. You can be
With the
you can be
bag,
gone
the
tomorrow with
Chanel
that
bag.
bag. You talking about that text message about that left on red? Imagine me buying that bag and
Yes.
I'm left on red and she got that bag. Imagine
You
that.
gonna be at the house. Oh, that's good. Yeah, true. So that goes to that spins about when you say you're a safe dater. So that and that's good to be safe. Vibe squad,
Makes
be safe
sense.
out
Yeah.
there.
And to me, it gets
Okay.
it
Yeah.
get- it allows folks to kind of really figure out where their values and what matters to them are. Because if these
Hmm.
other things that, like, if you have these other things, I feel like you need multiple boyfriends or you need a rich boyfriend. Have them. Have
Oh.
them, but don't be trying to make me into that. Like I'm covering the bill for five other
Hmm.
dudes. I'm covering the bill for a rich man. Like I'm not doing that.
Ooh. Yeah.
So you're saying women need to be
That's
more
real good advice.
realistic.
Realistic.
Yeah.
And if she's down and she's willing to put in the work to create and build together a thing that we have where we can comfortably afford whatever her wants are, she's going to deserve that. And I've seen it with my own eyes because she's worked with me. Okay.
Gray, you
Ooh,
speak
that's
a
another
lot of
topic.
wisdom, Gray. So you are definitely mature. You speak. I'm a married woman. You speak with a lot of maturity, a lot of wisdom. You're gonna go far, my friend,
That's
because
good.
what you speak about
Yes.
is what a. This is what a husband speaks like. This is how I did it when I came up. Like you got to be. You don't need to chase the rich man. You stick with that man that's safe that is all about your needs, y'all grow together, it will pay off in the future. So don't worry about too much of that stuff too much. It will pay off. That bag, you don't want to be caring about that bag when you got a big old house and 5 cars. It don't matter. Put in the work, Wild Squad. Put in the work now. Don't go chasing for that rich man now. Build with him now. That's how you get it. That's how you get it.
I
That's
love
the
it.
secret, and you got it.
Words. Come on, gems. Drop the gems, y'all. Drop the
Yeah.
I got to
gems.
drink to that.
Great
Yes.
conversation. Drink to that,
Yes.
y'all.
Cheers to
Another.
Cheers to
growth,
y'all.
good
This was
manipulation,
so much fun.
everything.
I
Here.
have learned again from y'all. Okay, there are some episodes, not off the top of my head because we've been having a little fun, but there are some episodes to
Yes.
where I gain new terminology. There are words that I hear in your episodes, and I'm like, I wouldn't have thought about that myself. And that's important. When
Mhm.
we're talking about communication, let's expand each other's vocabulary, expand each other's
Yeah.
perspectives,
Mhm.
and etc. Because that opens so many doors for all of us, and we can help each other in so many different facets that way outside of
Yes,
romance
we can.
and in others, ways with
Yeah.
our children, with our communities, with our church families, with whatever your community is. This is helpful. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Thank
Well,
you
he
so
done said the
much for
last
blessing us with your
words.
presence.
Yes. Go ahead, Cece. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I was just gonna say shout out to Gray for coming through, giving us a male perspective, giving us his wisdom, his attention. We appreciate that. You
Now,
know we do.
Yeah.
So shout out to you. And of course, Vibe Squad, hit us up in your comments. Let us know what you're thinking about these topics. It's so many other topics rambling around out here. So more to come, y'all. More to come. Remember to like, subscribe, hit us up with anything that you have in your mind. Thank you so much. Chi Chi, take it away.